7 years before we launched Radiant Church, my wife and I served on pastoral staff at Victory World Church, an absolutely wonderful church in Norcross, Georgia. And we had an incredible privilege of serving there from 2006 to 2013. I remember the day I spoke with the senior pastor about it was finally time to launch Radiant Church. He gave us his blessing, but then the very next day, my mother passed away in the hospital. The week we started Radiant Church officially, my oldest sister passed away suddenly. And then the week after that, my elderly father had a heart attack and subsequently died a couple of weeks later. It was a trying time as we started this new work. But I remember going to visit my dad in the hospital the last time I would see him. My family and I had visited with him on a Friday night, and then I went back by myself on a Saturday morning. And in his weakened condition, 91 years old, having a body that was racked with 91 years of living, serving as in World War II as a paratrooper, serving as a pastor for over 50 years, and just being my dad for all those years had really taken its toll on him. But he summoned all of his strength, sat up in bed, and completely sat through, watched the entire first service of Radiant on my laptop. And in that weakened condition, with barely a whisper, he was asking all the pastor questions. How many people came to Christ? How many did you have in attendance? What's the building like? How big is it? How's it set up? Asking all of these great questions, and completely coherent, even though he'd been battling Alzheimer's for years. And then before I left, I prayed for him, he prayed for me. It was wonderful. I packed up my laptop and I was walking out the door, and he said one thing to me that was rather obscure and it seemed out of place. I didn't know what he meant really. I thought maybe he had slipped back into his Alzheimer's oblivion. He said something that actually I forgot because over the next several months I suffered some serious health challenges as well. It wasn't until just a couple weeks ago that after we started this Just 300 campaign that I began to think back to this moment, the last time I saw my dad alive and what he said to me. And I began to think, no, there's no way he said that. So I asked my family, because I had told them at that time what he said. It was just so out of place, it seemed. But my family confirmed it. It was true. I wasn't making this up. I wasn't dreaming this. The last thing my dad said to me face to face before he passed away is, I'm looking for 300. I'm looking for 300. That's the last thing he said to me. And though it seemed so out of place at the time, I didn't understand what it meant at all. Looking back, I believe my dad could have actually been kind of prophetic in that moment, because you know what? We're still looking for 300 people. We're looking for 300 people who will join with us, like Gideon's army was all in, all 300 of them. We're looking for 300 who will give $300 each, at least that much, to help us buy this building. We're on a pace to raise $90,000 in down payment. But I want to ask you again to ask God to help us meet this miracle and then be obedient to what he says. I'm looking for those 300. My dad was looking for 300. And I want to ask you to join with us and partner with us, and let's see this miracle come to pass. God bless you. I love you.